Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sophia, and if you're returning, it's really nice to see you again. Thanks for coming back. I'm going to be doing my 5 stars sound check experience from Sounds Life Feels Live Toronto. This might be long, this might not be long. But before I get right into it, all of my social media as usual is linked in the description box, as well as a link to where I found the soundcheck highlights because my friend Erica wrote it out all on notes and posted on Twitter, so I will be sure to link that to you guys so you can read it. Other than that, I will get into this video. Actually, I'm just gonna let you guys know I am reading most of it off my phone because, as I said before, my friend Erica tweeted the soundcheck highlights, so that's just how I'm gonna remember what happened. So I saw 5 stars in Toronto on July 12th and I got the soundcheck package. It was me and my 2 sisters. I got up at 5:15 in the morning on July 12th to start getting ready, and I really started getting ready at like 5:30. I was just getting ready, and then like at 6:40, so when I was almost done getting ready, I was on Twitter and I saw that there are already 40 plus people in the soundcheck lines. I ended up doing like my hair really fast and I got dressed pretty fast, and I just like stuffed a Pop-Tart in my mouth. I left the actual hotel room 7:44 a.m. I mean, me and my mom were going to walk there. It's a half-hour walk, but instead we found a taxi right outside our hotel, so we took the taxi to Molson Amphitheater, and then I got there a lot earlier than I thought I would. At like exactly like 8 o'clock I was there, so I was in line, and then about 8:30 a security guard that was there moved us from our original spot to a spot that was more on the sidewalk closer to the water, and then the line got kind of like messed up a little because everyone just went for it, and then we just hung out in the line. I was texting Juliana and another friend of mine, Lynn, who I met while waiting in line before I met Juliana, which was fun. I didn't talk to anyone until about 9:30, I think. Because then I made some friends with the large group of girls that came before me, and there were some other girls on my opposite side that were talking, and they were telling me 5 stars, so I just jumped in, and that's how I made friends. Yeah, that was 9:30. At 10-ish, Juliana came, and I met Juliana and Jeanette, and then I had 2 other friends meet me in the line at 12-ish, as well as my family. I think around 1 everyone was like standing up in the line because they're supposed to let us in at 1, but it took a while. I think around 1:15 is when the first group went to go up to the tables. The line at the front, it was like barricaded, and there was 2 people there like watching the lines to make sure like no one like slipped through, because they're only letting in a small group at a time. And there were 3 tables. They were all side by side, and there was a bunch of people like working, and they had like the boxes with tickets and lanyards and the wristbands. So the first table was where you collected your tickets, and you basically had to have like the person's ID who bought the tickets, and like they'd tell the name, and then you'd get their tickets. And then the second table was where you got the wristband, I believe, I could be wrong, and they just hand it to you and they tighten it, and you can't like make it any looser. And then the last table is where you get the lanyards. We went through and we got our stuff, and we said goodbye to my parents because they weren't coming in with us. You go in, and at Molson there's like this large area, and then there's the one ramp that leads to most of the sections, and so they had it divided into 3 lines. There was 1 line here, and then like 2, and then there was a space to walk. We were in the first line, which was pretty lit. That was like about 1:30-ish, 1:45 maybe, like that time frame. We were actually like in the lineup, and we still had like another 2 hours to go because doors didn't open till 3:45. Yeah, so we didn't do much in the line. I think there was something, I think around 2-ish, like starting at 2 kind of thing. I can't remember times very well. The tour bus came with the band inside it, but most of us didn't notice. My little sister noticed, and she saw Ashton walk out, and like no one else saw Ashton walk out, so everyone was like, where is Ashton? But Ashton's here. But yeah, we saw the band members get off their tour bus. So it was Ashton, Michael, Callum, and Luke. Luke was the only one that looked at the fans that were waiting and like waved to us. I guess it was really hot out. I don't blame any of them for not looking. But yeah, we saw them get off, and Arzelia was there, Jack and his fiance. I'm pretty sure Ben was there. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Liz and Andy were there as well. That was the 2 o'clock adventure, and then we just kind of sat around again, I guess, and we didn't do much. At 3:20, I think, is when they started bringing our line in, and we like started going in at like 3:30ish, like around that time, and like we were escorted by a security guard because our show didn't have the catwalk, because I think it was like, it's a really, really small floor section. They had 3 rows of seats, and they had like marked off in this pink triangle, and they had like kind of like four rows there, and then they had like ones like going around and around, and we were brought to the 3rd row. I actually snuck a couple pictures, so if you want to like see, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put one here if I remember, so you're gonna see my view. We were kind of like in the middle-ish, but more on Callum's side. If you know the stage layout, you know exactly what I'm saying, but if you don't, I'm really, really sorry. Yeah, so 3:30, we were seated and we were just waiting, and they're supposed to come out on 4, but at 4 they were still bringing people in, so we knew they weren't coming out at 4. Somewhere between 4 and 4:15, I think head of security that was with the band, his name is Jesse, my fave. He came out, and in front of the stage, you know, they have like that little barricade, and so he was standing in there and he was just telling us the rules. He was telling us rules, so like no photos, no videos. If you were caught taking a photo or video, you would be told to leave sound check, so you would cut it short for yourself and not everyone else. And then they have a Q&A with their sound check, so there was this woman Kat and this other blonde lady. They went around and they were like letting people like tell them their question, and they would kind of like picking like who would be asking questions. And then 4:30 they came out on stage, and they just like bow, they just like walk on, and it's beautiful. But so the first song they played was their cover of Teenage Dream. Ashton said, we haven't played this one in probably 3 years, it's a cover. And as soon as I said teenage, I was like, this can go 2 ways. It's either Dirtbag or Dream. And I got Teenage Dream, okay? And so yeah, we were allowed to stand for when they were playing a song, and then once they were done playing songs, we had to sit down, and then it would be the Q&A. So Callum and Ashton shared a little like kind of like metal stool thing. It was short, but it was still a stool, you know? And then it was Luke, and then Michael was on like a more cushioned stool because he's important. But yeah, so then started taking questions, and they joke around a lot. And so yes, they were asked about advice for their younger selves, and Ashton and Callum were both like, oh, there's nothing like I regret, like that kind of thing. But Luke said not to care what people think, and Michael said to practice more. And then there was this one question about llamas, and it was, if you were singing llama, what song would you sing? And like they were so mean about it. Like I don't think they liked the question, but like the poor girl, like she was crying. She was like so happy to be talking to them, and they were just like tearing her apart. Yeah, so Ashton was like, did you really wake up this morning and go, that's the one? Luke, Callum, and Ashton were all like making fun of it, and like Michael was like, you know the llama song? And then he sang the entire llama song, which I've never heard in my life. So then the rest of the band was just kind of like, and they got asked about their favorite lyrics. They were talking about Drake, and then they started singing One Dance, and then Ashton changed the lyrics to Chips in My Ass. Yeah, and they were asked, what was your favorite view? And Ashton got Drake confused with The Weeknd. They were always like, if I wasn't Australian, I'd be Canadian. I was kind of like, don't mess with me, please. I'm very fragile. Yeah, they were asked a lot about lyrics, and they were also asked about how they knew when they had made it, what they wanted to do in 7 years, and they were asked about how they picked songs to go on albums or EPs or like these singles, which was kind of cool question because I always wondered. And then also we all sang the duck song. Then they were asked like what they would do if they weren't in a band. I think that was the last question, and then they sound checked 2 more songs, and it was If You Don't Know, which we were all chanting. And then the last one they played was Catch Fire, and then they said bye, and then they left, and then that was it. That brings me to the end of today's video. I'm really sorry if it's messy. I have a lot of emotions right now. But I hope you liked it. If you have been to Soundcheck before for either 5 Sauce tours like Rock Out Wave Socks Out or Sounds Live Feels Live, tell me about like what your favorite part of like your thing was, and like in the comments, and just let me know how much you miss it. And if you are gonna have Soundcheck for a future show, I hope this helps with the process kind of thing. But if you do have any other questions about it, you can always leave a comment, or you can hit me up on my social medias, which are listed in the description box down below. As well, again, I'll make sure I have the Twitter link to the soundcheck highlights. Yeah, so that will be there as well. While you're there, you might as well follow my friend Erica because she is. Again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you have any videos you want me to do, you want to see on my channel. Leave a comment below or reach me on any of my social medias because that's where I am most of the time. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, tell your dogs, stay beautiful, and I will see you next time. Bye. You know the guy in SpongeBob that's always like, my leg, my leg? It's me.